We found it again. Found what you ask? Well, let me tell you a story. Some years ago, our producer, a curious soul, stumbled upon something fascinating while experimenting with a radionics program. Now you might wonder, what exactly is radionics? Well, that is a long, tortured subject, but the shortest answer we can give you this early into the video is that radionics is using machines to manipulate energy for a specific outcome. This is often in the realm of health. But you can't come out and say things like, we can cure this or that, because those words are taboo and you can and will get yourself sued and locked up in prison. Just ask Wilhelm Reich. So radionics, for many, now ventures into the domain of wishing machines. Yes, you heard that right. Machines designed to fulfill wishes. This isn't a modern fad. There's a history here, and people today still craft and sell these intriguing devices. And what's truly amusing is the price people pay for these machines, which, with a bit of ingenuity, they could construct themselves. So how do these wishing machines work? Imagine this: a simple wooden box into which holes are drilled. The number varies: 3, 6, 9, even 12. Dials are then inserted into these holes. Beneath the surface, these dials are interconnected with copper wires, or silver and gold, if one wishes to add a touch of opulence. These wires converge at a switch. On the machine's surface, a witness plate or bowl is placed, where one's desires and needs are symbolically placed. Beside it, there's a stick plate, crafted from materials like plastic, polished wood, or even brass or copper. And the process is as intriguing as the machine itself. You place an image or symbol representing your desire on the machine. As you adjust the dials, gently rubbing the stick plate, a moment of synchronicity occurs. When the right frequency is reached, a physical sensation is felt, a sticking of the thumb or fingers to the plate. It's a sensation that is both peculiar and unmistakable. Now, in the intricate world of radionics, we witness a rich history of trailblazers and their groundbreaking findings. Our story starts with Dr. Albert Abrams, who came into this world on December 8, 1863. Though often discredited and labeled as a charlatan, those with a deep comprehension of this field recognize the significance of his work. Dr. Abrams was the first to discern diseases by measuring the resistance they induced in the body. He used a technique known as abdominal percussion. In a serendipitous discovery, while examining a patient with a cancerous ulcer, he observed that a specific abdominal area produced a dull sound when the patient faced west, but a hollow sound in other directions. This led him to the electronic reaction of Abrams, or ERA. He deduced that cancerous tissues emitted radiations affecting the nervous fibers, a revelation that became the cornerstone of radionics. This insight propelled Abrams to further experiments. He postulated that these radiations could be transmitted over a distance, affecting the nervous system of a healthy individual connected to a cancer patient's sample. This was radionics in its nascent form. Abrams faced challenges, notably in differentiating the zones for syphilis and cancer. He ingeniously introduced a variable resistor, or rheostat, into the circuit, distinguishing the diseases by resistance levels. Thus, the first radionics machine was born, equipped with variable resistors for diagnosing a plethora of diseases. Then enter Ruth Drown. She refined Abrams's instruments, making them more precise. Drown was instrumental in advancing radionics, introducing the stick pad method and expanding the tables for anatomical and disease rates. Her pioneering work laid the foundation for remote treatment in radionics. In the 1950s, George Delaware emerged. Building upon Abrams and Drown's work, he popularized what is known as Base 10 radionics, a significant leap in this field. The story progresses with Malcolm Ray in the mid-1970s. Ray, recognizing the limitations of the existing scales, developed an instrument calibrated from 0 to 44, enhancing the precision of radionic measurements. Finally, in the 1980s, Jaco Milan brought his expertise in homeopathy and iridology to the forefront. Each of these pioneers, Abrams, Drown, Delaware, Ray, and Milan, contributed uniquely to the evolution of radionics, shaping it into the fascinating field it is today. Their legacies, often mired in controversy, but their relentless pursuit of understanding the unseen forces that influence our health and well-being, have given us the necessary foundation. But there's one more pioneer that we have to shine a light upon, because our exploration of radionics would not be complete if we didn't acknowledge a pivotal figure. Royal Raymond Rife, father of the Rife machine. Rife, for a period, was celebrated by the medical community, hailed as a harbinger of the end of all diseases. And this wasn't a result of naivety on the part of the medical community, but rather, it was because his work was genuinely groundbreaking, and the powers that run the health industry today didn't have the same kind of chokehold on doctors back then. But delving deeply into Rife's life, and the unfortunate turns it took, would extend our discussion considerably. Instead, let's focus on some key facts about his contributions. Firstly, Rife invented a powerful universal microscope with unparalleled magnification and resolution, allowing him to be the first person to observe living viruses. He proposed that all medical conditions have an electromagnetic frequency, and by matching this frequency, diseased cells could be targeted and neutralized. Rife coined the term mortal oscillatory rate, discovering that each microbe and virus has a specific frequency that, when matched, can destroy it. Think of an opera singer shattering a crystal glass with their voice. That's the essence of Rife's theory. In 1934, a significant experiment led by Dr. Milbank Johnson, involving terminally ill patients, demonstrated the remarkable potential of Rife's method. Most patients were cured, showcasing the efficacy of his approach. Unfortunately, Rife faced opposition. His lab was destroyed, his work discredited, and by 1944, his research was largely abandoned. Tragically, he died penniless in 1971. Recent studies on Rife's work in the Journal of Experimental and Clinical Cancer Research, titled Amplitude-Modulated Electromagnetic Fields for the Treatment of Cancer, Discovery of Tumor-Specific Frequencies, and Assessment of a Novel Therapeutic Approach, have all shown the same thing. Rife therapy gives remarkable results. But don't hold your breath, waiting on mainstream acceptance to come calling for this information anytime soon. There's a veritable library of studies and research in alternative medicine and human capabilities that have vanished into the abyss of academic obscurity, never to resurface. If you're seeking tangible results, you'll have to take matters into your own hands and disseminate the knowledge through the back door. Approach it with a bit of cunning. A sideways strategy is the way to go. And it's interesting to note the distinction and sometimes separation between the fans of Rife machines and those of radionics machines. Actually, it's rather sad, because while they employ different methods, the principles behind them are the same. Besides, they are all lumped together as fringe quackery by the mainstream anyways. So you can kick rocks with all that snooty metaphysical hair-splitting. We're far better off focusing on what we have in common and building from there. We're reminded of another tragic genius, Nikola Tesla, who said quite plainly, "If you want to find the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration." Yep, it's that simple. Tesla's words clue us in on a little secret. The same gizmos we use to kick health problems to the curb can also tackle a whole spectrum of other pesky issues. You heard it right. Radionics has been a jack of all trades, from zapping bugs in your home and crops to attracting a nice chunk of change or even a new romantic interest. Basically, if you can think of it, it's got a rate, an energy, a frequency, and a vibration. Ring any bells? But don't wander off just yet. We're still drilling down on this, making sure the point's not just made, but engraved. In the intricate world of radionics, a rich mosaic of principles and breakthroughs has been crafted by its trailblazers, each offering their distinct perspectives. Although these laws vary, they're interconnected, showcasing the profound complexity and layers within this field. Let's start with Abram's laws of radionics. He posited that all matter emits radiation, a reflection of its atomic and molecular composition. This radiation, electromagnetic in nature, interacts with the human nervous system, conveying information. Thought, with its magnetic qualities, influences this energetic field. Drown's perspective brought another dimension. She believed radionics is anchored in vibratory principles. According to her, everything in the universe has its unique vibrational signature. These vibrations, originating from the universal ether, are omnipresent. Through a radionic instrument, one can harness these vibrations, even from a distance, to treat ailments. Delawar's laws focused on the electromagnetic spectrum of matter's radiation. He emphasized the electrical resistances as a means to differentiate these radiations. In his view, radionics represented the interplay between mind and matter and the interconnectedness of all things. Ray's laws brought a more structured approach. He saw thoughts as fields, measurable electronically. The source of this energy, he believed, was a facet of magnetism. Any thought, according to Ray, could be expressed precisely through numeric ratios or geometric patterns. Lastly, Malan's laws marked a departure from the earlier belief that thought alone was the driving force in radionics. He argued that the intent of the practitioner is key. According to Malan, radionic rates have a specific shape and structure, much like molecules. These vibrations, once inverted, become healing energies. Malan also highlighted the transcendence of time and distance in radionic treatment, thanks to the ether. The various best practices and perspectives within radionics, though unique in their specifics, share several common threads that illustrate the interconnected nature of this field. 1. Focus on energy and vibrations. Each pioneer in radionics emphasizes the importance of energy and vibrations. Abrams speaks of electromagnetic radiation, Drown of vibrational signatures, Delaware of electromagnetic spectrums, Ray of energy fields, and Malan of vibrational rates. They all converge on the idea that everything in the universe, including thoughts and intentions, emits a form of energy that can be harnessed or influenced. 2. Interplay of mind and matter. There's a recurring theme that the mind, through thought or intention, interacts with physical matter. Abrams and Ray specifically mention the influence of thought on the energetic field, while Malan points to the practitioner's intent as a crucial factor in radionics. This suggests a belief in a deep connection between consciousness and the physical world. 3. The concept of universal connectivity. Drown and Delaware in particular touch on the idea that everything is interconnected through universal energy or ether. This notion implies that the universe operates as a cohesive system, with each part influencing and interacting with others, regardless of physical distance. 4. Healing through non-traditional means. Each contributor to radionics proposes a method of healing that deviates from conventional medical practices. Whether it's through specific vibrations, electromagnetic frequencies, or thought patterns, they all advocate for an alternative approach to healing based on the principles of energy and connectivity. 5. Transcendence of space and time. Malan's emphasis on the irrelevance of time and distance in radionic treatment, and Drown's idea of capturing vibrations from the universal ether, indicate a belief in the non-locality of these healing energies. This aspect suggests that the effects of radionics are not bound by conventional physical limitations. So, in essence, these laws and theories all converge on the idea that the universe operates on a fundamental level of energy and vibrations, where the mind and matter are deeply interconnected, and healing can be achieved through the manipulation and understanding of these energetic principles. And as we mentioned earlier, this isn't just about patching up your body, but tweaking your whole personal reality. And yeah, we're fully aware this is on the fringe end of things. Hell, it's as fringe as it gets. But you know what? We really don't give a damn anymore. If you want to know the truth, it seems our producer is riding the wave of a full-blown midlife crisis and having the time of his life doing it. But hey, the AI isn't here to go off on tangents, so let's steer this ship back on course. So far in the realm of radionics, we've uncovered the profound understanding that the universe operates on a fundamental level of energy and vibrations, where the mind and matter are deeply interconnected. This knowledge, when applied in practice, reveals that everything, living or non-living, vibrates at its own unique frequency. We've also seen how radionics extends beyond mere health benefits. It encompasses a range of applications, from improving agricultural practices to attracting financial gains and personal relationships. This versatility showcases radionics as a tool not just for healing, but for transforming various aspects of personal reality. Now let us delve into the concept of radionics and the morphogenetic theory. This theory posits that everything in our world is surrounded and penetrated by electromagnetic fields, each containing complete information about its surroundings and interconnected with all other fields. These morphogenetic fields can be altered by electromagnetic oscillations. For instance, the alteration of these fields by direct current can dramatically change the form of the same species, illustrating the profound impact of electromagnetic fields on the material world. Radionics instruments also utilize these fields, which can be programmed or informed, and then transferred to any target object. For example, when an electric current runs through a cable, a magnetic field forms around it. This field changes as the current varies. Interestingly, magnetic fields can also induce electric currents, a phenomenon known as induction. Radionics instruments are designed to analyze and correct the morphogenetic field surrounding an object, thereby inducing a materialistic change in the object according to the now healthy field. This principle is akin to how a magnetic field can induce electric current in a switched-off circuit line. The concept extends to the L field, a theory proposed by Professor Harold Saxton Burr. He suggested that all living organisms, including humans, are governed by electrodynamic fields that control their growth and decay. These L fields act as a matrix, maintaining the arrangement of material. Burr's research showed that these fields could be directly influenced by external phenomena, such as sunlight, moon cycles, and magnetic storms. Radionics also aligns with these principles, as highlighted by George de la Warr. Each individual or material radiates and absorbs energy through a unique energy field. The complexity of this waveform is greater in living beings like humans. So in radionics, electronic equipment is used to detect particular radiations. The practitioner, using their sensitivity, establishes resonance with these radiations, measuring their amplitude to find the most resonant remedy for a malady. This approach treats not just the symptoms, but the cause, going beyond the physical to include psychological conditions and the aura as part of the treatment. These concepts were further evidenced in experiments that demonstrated rapport between living organisms and their representations, like photographs or samples. Experiments like these, dating back to the 19th century and continuing into the modern era, have shown that this rapport exists over great distances and can be harnessed for healing and understanding the interconnectedness of all things. All right, let's fast forward to more current times and continue our journey. You remember how we began this story with our producer D Coyote, who initially experimented with a computerized version of a radionics device. His journey in radionics later led him to construct traditional wooden box machines and eventually to acquire some Rife machines. His experiences were intriguing, yet he found that mastering the classic wooden box, particularly its stick pad, was quite challenging. In contrast, the computer application proved to be more user-friendly, yielding some astonishing results. There were instances where the outcomes were so overwhelming that he had no choice but to reset or completely shut down the device. One time, while Coyote was doing the extended weekend getaway thing in a small town not too far away from Kent State University, he had to text a friend to rush over to his apartment and restart his computer so the radionics program would stop. This incident coincided with the Cleveland Cavaliers' NBA championship victory, led by a renowned basketball player who kept calling himself just a kid from Akron. The hometown kid turned superstar had half the state charged up like a supernova. The energy in the air was so electric already that Coyote's bright idea to add to it with his radionics experiments was, in hindsight, a bit too much. Then, in 2019, Coyote stumbled upon a significant discovery. He acquired a modern, well-crafted radionics device from overseas, and upon researching it, realized its effectiveness was due to the technology and frequencies it utilized. These elements were strikingly similar to those of the Radionics app he had used years earlier on his old computer. It was as if he'd struck gold. It appeared that the creators of this new device had ingeniously reverse-engineered the software from his earlier experiments, extracting its most effective elements and incorporating them into their machine. Coyote was duly impressed by this feat of innovation. However, there was a tinge of regret, as the original software's creator had passed away a year or two earlier, precluding any further updates or advancements from that original source. And Coyote lost the software when his old computer crashed. But this was also the time when our producer began to enjoy some of the fruits of his manifestation work. And with his newly found financial gain, he jumped at the chance to do something we wanted to do for the better part of a decade, but could never afford: becoming a certified hypnotherapist. But now we've regained access to that transformative software, and with the advancements in AI, we're able to deconstruct it right down to its assembly language. This development excites us on multiple levels. Currently, our guy is prepping some spare desktop computers to play with the original software again. Get some practice in and get back into the groove, so to speak. After that, we plan to develop our own software application, drawing from the insights we glean from this original program. And why should this matter to you? Well, the truth is, many of us struggle with manifestation. Sure, there's no shortage of talk about the power of visualization, but let's be honest. Our success rate is often sporadic at best. When we do manage successful manifestations, say about 20% of the time, we're quick to celebrate, believing we're in harmony with the universe. But what about the other 80%? This is where technology like the app we're discussing comes into play. It significantly boosts your success rate, surpassing 50% right off the bat. And this isn't just hearsay, it's based on our first-hand experiences. The beauty of this technology is its simplicity. If you can maintain your desire long enough to press a button, you've done your part. It's a set it and forget it kind of tool. Of course, it still requires practice. You're unlikely to manifest what seems unattainable to you. That's why visualizing enormous wealth is challenging for most. However, more achievable goals, like increasing your income, improving your living conditions, or enhancing relationships, become far more feasible. And this is something we can attest to from personal experience. Consider the app as a tool, much like AI. Both serve as force multipliers. Yet remember, you are the central element, the driving force. What the software does is maintain and amplify your set intention over extended periods, often leading to remarkable and unexpected outcomes. And in our current era, where our attention spans are increasingly fleeting, having a tool like this could be invaluable. Now, Coyote is sharing this video out of a sense of obligation, a belief in the potential benefit this could bring to many. If taken seriously, this technology could indeed create significant ripples in our reality, maybe even stir up a bit of chaos, which could be quite exhilarating. Part of our producer is itching to shake things up, but there's another side that's content with keeping this knowledge close to the vest, retreating to the lab, harnessing this magic, and enjoying personal gains. It's a classic dilemma, with conflicting voices of caution and daring on either shoulder. But whichever path we choose, one thing is certain. This journey will be nothing short of fascinating.